Hello, welcome to the channel again. It's another Preston North End game. We're going to review the match against Huddersfield Town behind closed doors today. Unfortunately, it finished Huddersfield Town 0, Preston North End 0. Alex Neil rang the changes again. 5 changes last time, 4 changes today. No Huntington, of course, for the stamp on the Derby County player last game. So he lined up with Declan Rudd in goal. He continued. Rafferty continued. At right back, no Fisher. Left back, Hughes continued. Centre back, Davis continued. Bauer came in for the suspended Hunts. Midfield, he went for Ben Pearson, of course. And Ledson came in. First start since before Christmas, I think November. So a bit of a shock to see him in. He went off and Sinclair came on for the last 5 minutes. Potsy continued his second start in a row. Thought he played well, just like Derby. We'll go into it later on, though. Brownie still played. Stockley came on for him. Harrop started a match, yes. Josh Harrop got a start on a Preston North End. Didn't come off the bench, he started. So that's Ledson, Potsy and Harrop all started today. Big changes, and Barkhazen played as the forward. He went off for Billy Borden. So that means the unused substitutes were Davy Nugent, Ripley, Shawnee Maguire came on for Harrop, so he wasn't. Story, Fisher, and the forgotten man, the other forgotten man, not just Ledson, there's another forgotten man, Tom Baelish, who was signed in the summer from Coventry, who's only played cup games for Preston North End. Was on the bench, didn't come on, so still hasn't played in the. To my recollection, yet he hasn't played in the Championship. If I'm wrong, comment, of course. Well, where do we start, eh? No shots on target. Still missing Daniel Johnson, 50 grand. A big miss in this team. I love some of the players in this team, but the lack of quality in the final third is killing us. Absolutely killing us. We'll get on to Alex Neil and his tactics, but I think he did everything he could today. He brought Ledson in. I thought Ledson had a really solid game. He absolutely shattered when he went off with 5 minutes to go and ran himself into the ground. I really like Ledson. I'm disappointed he doesn't get more games. He offers a lot more running and dynamic running, and his passing was good today. His passing was really good. And I think, as much as I love Gallagher, I think he might have passed the hill, so to speak, in the Championship. And I think it might be time for Ledson to have more of a starring role. And I thought he and Pim and Pearson in centre mid were fantastic together. Hard, because I thought this Huddersfield team offered very little. They were so happy with a point, so happy with a 0-0. It's untrue. And you don't see that much in the Championship, but they really, really, really wanted that 0-0, and they got it. We weren't good enough to break them down. Up front, I thought Harrop started okay first 20 minutes, and by the second half, I mean, I don't think he touched the ball in a significant way. It just doesn't offer enough for me at times, Harrop. And I know a lot of people like him, and people say he doesn't get a fair shout. I know a lot of his appearances are off the bench, but he's played over 30 games this season for Preston North End. It doesn't contribute enough for me, personally. And I might get some stick for that, but he doesn't for me. I thought Barkhazen was strong. The one we got the ball over. One of the few times we got the ball over the top, and he managed to we got a corner from it. He ran onto it. That's what he offers a bit more of an outball than Stockley or even Maguire, really, since that injury. I think he's lost a bit of that pace as well. But here's the elephant in the room. Alex Neil's tactics again. Now, I agree with bringing Ledson in, and I thought Potsy did well the other day, deserved to start. But, you go into a place like Huddersfield who are fighting for their lives, and you're not playing a recognised striker. Now, I know Stockley and Hughes and Maguire, they don't score goals, sadly. So I understand, kind of, where he's coming from there. But, I just want to see Potsy down one wing, Barkhazen down the other wing. Barkhazen, decent game, but he's not a striker for me. He's not a striker. So I think, could we try Sinclair up there? Sinclair, I know I said before after the game in midweek it was ineffective, but could we try and start him up top maybe and have Barkhazen at one side? And what's happening to Borden? I mean, he's getting less minutes than Harrop and obviously Ledson now. And I like, so what's happening with him? I think that's something that some of Neil's comments after the game again today were just quite scary, weren't they? And we're going backwards. We've been, like I said, we've been poor since November. I'm worried about the state of the team. I love some of the players in this team. Brownie, I love him. Who else? Barkhazen, love him. But the final ball is just... It's just killing us at times, killing us. Barkhazen getting into good positions in the final ball, and I think Brown's the same at times. Harrob's absolutely 100% the same. Potsy works so hard, and I think he's underrated. But again, quality-wise, not sure he's at that level. Is it time maybe to try Baelish? The problem is we're bringing so many players into the team every 5 changes midweek, 4 changes today. Can we afford to bring more players in? I'd like to see the story start, but playoffs have realistically gone. Cardiff won today again, so now I think it's a time to maybe get ready for next season. Gallagher not in the squad today. For me, that would be him finished now. Out of contract in the summer. Personally, don't think he needs another one. So for me, I think I would probably let him go. So I would keep Ledson in the team. Ledson and Pearson, Potsy. I'd have Story in. Baelish has to be... the money was spent on him. Can we get him in the team? I think for me, he has to start next game. So we'll see if that happens. You never know. At the minute, you don't know the team. You don't know the team Alex Neil's going to pick. I don't think he knows the team he's going to pick until the day of the game, and that's hurting us. I think at the moment. Rafferty tries hard, but for me, Fisher would be in it, especially a game like this against a team at the bottom. Fisher plays every game for me against teams like that. Hughes has gone backwards, I think, since last season. I think offers nothing now. Really poor. Another one I try and get rid of in the summer. Pearson was Pearson, wasn't he? Every game. 8 out of 10 every game. Brilliant. I'm not a big fan of Brown this season. I think he's had poor games. I thought he was better today, but against a poor opposition again in Huddersfield. Sheffield Wednesday next, midweek. Let's see what that brings. Historically, I know there's no fans going to be there, but historically, we're abysmal at Hillsborough. Absolutely abysmal. I think I've been there 6 times. Haven't seen us win. We're abysmal. Seen some really bad performances in that time as well. So, an enormous game midweek against Sheffield Wednesday. The playoffs have gone, but I'd like to, where's the next win going to come from? Is it going to come at Hillsborough? Let's hope so. I tell you what, I'll speak to you before the Hillsborough game. We'll go through what I think the team should be. Go through some of Neil's tactics, which have been quite bizarre in the last few games. We'll have a talk about Potsy and Ledson, Harrob, Sinclair, Baelish. We'll have a talk about that. I'll talk to you before that game. What do you think, North End fans? The season's dwindling away, unfortunately, isn't it? And we've gone back to we've gone back to the status quo of being 11 for 12, unfortunately, and that's probably where we're going to finish. What needs to happen in the summer? A big clear out for me. A big summer, especially with Gallagher probably leaving, Tommy Clark gone. The team's lacking leaders for me. Absolutely lacking leaders. We're lacking a leader in that midfield area. Pearson can't do it all by himself. So for me, big changes need to be made. Bristol City sacked the manager today. Alex Neil's third favourite for the job there. Is it time for Alex Neil to leave for pastures new? It's becoming that point where I think a big decision has to be made for him and his future and Preston North End Football Club. With that being said, leave a comment below about Alex Neil and his future, and I'll see you in midweek.